Some people don't just feel emotions, they absorb them. A small disappointment ruins the whole day. A slightly cold message feels like rejection. Someone else's pain sits in their chest for hours. A movie scene stays with them for days. One argument echoes in their mind long after everyone else has moved on. And most of these people grow up hearing the same things. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're taking things too personally. So eventually, they begin asking a dangerous question. What is wrong with me? But what if nothing is wrong? What if some people aren't weak? What if they're simply experiencing life with the volume turned up?
Psychology often talks about personality traits, sensitivity, emotional processing, but I think there's a simpler way to understand it. I call it the emotional amplifier. Imagine two people walking through the same world. The first person experiences emotions like normal speakers. The second person experiences emotions like giant surround sound headphones at maximum volume. Same song, different intensity. The world doesn't change. The emotional signal does. And when you live with an emotional amplifier, everything becomes bigger. Joy becomes euphoria. Embarrassment becomes humiliation. Loneliness becomes emptiness. Love becomes obsession. Loss becomes devastation. The strange thing is people usually notice the painful side first, because pain demands attention. But highly emotional people don't only suffer more. They often love more, care more, notice more. They remember tiny details. They sense tension before anyone speaks. They can walk into a room and somehow feel that something is off. And because of this, people often come to them with problems. Because they feel understood. Because they actually listen. But here's where things become dangerous. Many deeply feeling people slowly become emotional containers for everyone else. They absorb stress, absorb sadness, absorb expectations, absorb disappointment. Until one day, they wake up exhausted, without understanding why. Not because they did too much, because they felt too much. And there is another hidden problem. People who feel deeply often become experts at hiding it, because they learn early that strong emotions make other people uncomfortable. So they smile. They say they're fine. They act normal. Meanwhile, inside their mind, they're replaying conversations, analyzing facial expressions, wondering if they upset someone, wondering if they said too much, wondering if they're too much. And over time, something painful happens. They stop trusting their own emotions. They begin thinking, maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe I'm dramatic. Maybe I should stop feeling this way. But you cannot shame yourself into feeling less. You can only disconnect yourself.
Maybe the goal was never to become less sensitive. Maybe the goal is learning how to hold your emotions without drowning inside them. Because an emotional amplifier isn't a curse. It becomes a curse when nobody teaches you how it works. And maybe that's why some of the people who suffer the deepest also create the deepest connections. Because feeling everything too deeply doesn't mean you are broken. It might simply mean you experience life in high definition. And if you've spent years thinking, why am I like this? Maybe the better question is, what if this was never something to fix?